Good afternoon from Bali, everyone. It's Aniva Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I thought I would talk a little bit about our thoughts again, and thoughts and imagination, and that creating our reality. I thought, this mind thought, that recognizing that a lot of the information that people are seeing around the world is very focused on things related to Donald Trump. And so this particular video I decided to call Trump and Truth. And I want you to know that oftentimes when we see things that are coming out in, whether it's the news or sometimes it's within a certain group that we suddenly learn something we didn't know, and sometimes it's within a simple relationship, and sometimes it's within ourselves, things that we learn about ourselves that are truth, and yet we didn't really realize them. So today I thought I would start with this quotation to share with you, which says, "Reality bends to the imagination of the disciplined soul." Reality bends to the imagination of the disciplined soul. So this is what I believe, this mind believes, that we all do think and send thoughts out regularly. And if we understand that thoughts are a type of energy that we send out into the world, sometimes consciously, sometimes not consciously, because the mind is thinking constantly. Our awareness of our own thoughts is usually a limited amount of time, and then the unconscious takes up a lot of time, and so certain patterns of thought are repeated. I thought, wow, reality bending to the imagination of the disciplined soul. Imagine the disciplined souls that have come to our experience on earth that came to teach simple truths, like truth, about speaking the truth, or to do unto others as we would unto ourselves, the golden rule, all of this, that there were souls that were disciplined enough that came to share this truth. And many of us are benefiting from those truths. And that imagination, which led to creation of these expressed words. Now, words are also an energy, and an energy that goes out is heard by many or expressed in writing or word. And certainly that's a different energy than thought. And then there's action. So some people hear such words and say, I choose to do good things. What could I do that would be a good thing? Maybe I'll say a kind word to another person. Maybe I'll help someone across the street. Maybe I can hire someone for a job. Maybe I will give a gift of anything. Again, time, energy, compassion, all of this. These are all actions. And so someone can use it this way. Another can say, wow, that person said that do unto others. So I'm going to twist that a little bit. I'd like this done to me, so I'm going to do that unto others. And you can see how some of this is playing out in the world. It's not new though. This is something that has happened for generations, for lifetimes. And we know that now we have much more understanding or ability to understand, and certainly we've got lots of resources to read about or listen to understand this. Now, understanding is actually a very key detail, because our thoughts are the strongest energy. Our words, you can imagine that we speak a lot less words than the thoughts that we think. So often if I'm thinking a good thought for a long time, I really like this person, it's a really nice person, by the time I actually say it, hey, I want to let you know that I think you're very kind, it's a long time of thinking before I say those words. And then actions, even though I think you're kind, I might not do anything. So do you want to go sit and have a chat? Do you want to talk about what you think about, because I think you're such a kind energy, I want to learn from you, or I want to hear what you have to say. Anything. Excuse my cough, I just had a little bit of a allergic reaction yesterday. So in any case, today in speaking, understanding that thoughts take a lot of energy and put out a lot of energy. Even though we're not consciously aware of our thoughts, we don't find it as a measurable energy, yet it is very powerful just because of the sheer volume of thoughts that go out. And then the words are a little bit less, and of course that has a lot of power too. You would know that if you've ever said something that has hurt someone else, it has a strong effect. And if you've ever said something that has lifted someone else, that's got a strong effect. Now, if you actually help lift someone up physically, it's got a strong effect. And if you push someone down physically, it's got a strong effect. Yet that final action is the least energetically powerful, surprisingly, because usually by the time we see the action is when we're like, wow, how much thinking went into that person hurting that person or that person helping that person, how much thinking went into the words they said, how much thinking went into the action. But we realize that thought is a lot stronger. Now I come back to another quotation. These two quotations that I'm sharing with you, or lines I'm sharing with you, are actually from a speaker named Goddard. It's such wonderful information when I've seen his information, and I want to share more of it because I definitely practice this, and it's just so nice to see something that aligns with this space, which lots of energies do, and I want to share it with you. So this quotation says, external conditions are the delayed echo of your internal dialogue. External conditions are the delayed echo of your internal dialogue. Now, if we look at what we see today much more publicly because of between internet or TV or people talking, we see that there's a lot of greed that we can see, oh, and this is where money is hidden, this is what things are not spoken, these were the lies that were said, this is the truth that's coming out. We see that it's happening on this global scale. It always has been, and yet maybe much more of it was whispered and not expressed or talked about, or was talked about in a particular country that most of the world didn't have their focus on because it wasn't a superpower. But all of these things have happened all over the world. I certainly know that every country has probably had some of these energies that people in power might take control. And then we collectively think, oh, people in power, yeah, don't trust them. Now that comment alone has led to part of what we're seeing. Now, I also understand that I am definitely very strongly in favor of spirituality or religion that helps us be better, not only for ourselves, but for the world around us. So whatever profession that is using this energy of I care, there's a divine energy that works through me to help teach, to help healthcare, to help anything, any profession, that we recognize that, wow, the best of me comes from something that's actually beyond me. Now, when we think about that too, I think of how many years, generations again, that people have thought about the end of the world, because it's been written in scripture, there's going to be a big war, there's going to be one against another, and the good guys are going to win, and I'm part of the good guys, thank goodness, right? Now, doesn't each person think this way? So each culture, religion that has talked about this end of world times, and we're seeing so many changes on the earth, and certainly in people, that are so obvious, so not easy to avoid or ignore, that we think that, oh my goodness, many people talk about, I think we're in the end of the world, it's the end of world times now, this is the end of the world. And we've heard about floods and fires, and we see this happening, and so all of this fear rises up in people. We've said it, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and then guess what? External conditions are the delayed echo of your internal dialogue. Can you imagine how many holy places have talked about this time? We've talked about it, we've thought about it, we've read about it, we keep on sharing it, we fear it, we worry about it, we know it, or we think we know it, and we create it. And so our thoughts create our reality. Do not forget that we are collectively thinking too, and there is a responsibility in that thought too. So in that thought, it's like, oh, I hope someone saves us. It could be God. It's if I'm thinking about the end of the world from religious perspective, I will wait for God to help. And yet what I do every single day may not be helping. If I keep on thinking, I just want this to finish because I know I'm right and they're not, I don't mind that they die. I want to live. So this is the thinking that one has to, or I would encourage us to, reflect upon, because is that divine energy? When divinity has created all, does divinity wish not good for any? And if a religion is saying yes, that religion needs to go, or those people need to go, that division does not come from the unified perspective of what this mind believes is divine energy. Today, I would love for us all to reflect on this, and again, with no judgment as to how you are practicing in your life. When I look at quantum physics and I look at the true depth of understanding ourselves, know thyself, it's the same. It's that awareness that the minute we observe something, we can change it. When we observe that, perhaps the thoughts that we put out are not helping, are not so cooperative, that are actually more competitive, that are focused on destruction rather than building, then perhaps we can also know that that same imagination helps to create the things that are showing right now. I see that Canada is starting to build itself up in terms of strength, of understanding its own resources and understanding its compassion to Canadians, and then the cooperation with other countries around the world. And it's so lovely to see that when we think about cooperation and helping one another, I don't think anything would change this mind in understanding and believing that that is true divinity. Today, I wish for you to practice true divinity through your thoughts, through your words, through your actions, and I shall do the same. I wish you a fantastic day or night ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day or night, everyone.